Hi everyone and welcome to Mighty Kiddos. In today's video, we will be discussing what to look for in terms of speech development during your child's first year of life. So this video is going to be broken up by months. So we have a 3-month section, 6-month, 9-month, and 12-month. I have the timestamps down below. So if you want to jump to a certain section, please go ahead and do so. If you're ready, let's go. So by 3 months, we don't usually think that kids are making any communication cues, but they really are. Anytime they're cooing or crying or fussing, that is communication. So we want to make sure that by 3 months old, your child is able to tell you when he is hungry, when she is thirsty, when she is just tired. So we want to make sure we're seeing those different types of cries, that we are able to tell when the child is hungry or hurt, depending on their cry, and that we're hearing those cooing sounds. Things that may be starting also at this time is that they're beginning to smile and make eye contact. So anytime you get really close to them, hi baby, how are you? That you're noticing that they're looking at your face and they might be smiling. Another thing that can be happening, not all kids do it at this early by 3 months, but we may be seeing laughs and giggles like instead of just smiling, now they're also laughing and giggling. Now the 6-month-olds are now becoming more aware. They're very excited about their environment. Their vocalization has gotten a lot more extensive. They start to babble. For instance, they might start repeating things like if you say ma, 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 you will start hearing ma, 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 or something similar to that. It is very exciting because at this time you might be hearing mama and dada, but at this point it still doesn't mean anything. They're not really saying that your mama or the dad's dada. They're just repeating and working on it. Keep an eye out, actually keep an ear out for the first consonants that our kids start saying, and those are B, D, G, M, T, and P. So those sounds you should be hearing often, not all of them necessarily, but at least 3 of them by 6 months of age. So at this time, like I said, the babbling gets more expressive. So you will start hearing more giggling, more gurgling sounds like grrr, and that's really cool to hear. And they will now start to understand that they can use their voice to catch attention. So their babbling is going to have more pattern to it. They're also going to be using the babbling to express pleasure or disagreement with something. And that is really cool to start hearing at this age because your kids are communicating with you. They will also start noticing the direction of sound. So if somebody's speaking that way, like they'll turn that way. If somebody turns talking here or music starts, they will then turn this way. And they will also be really aware of different tones in voice. Like, no, 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 don't do that, when you're more stern, or like, hi, baby, I missed you. And they will respond appropriately to that. 9 months gets even more exciting. This is the imitation phase. This is where their communication is also relying a lot on imitating what you do. So they will be waving, they will be clapping, they will be perhaps, going or doing raspberries. And this is all part of communication. So they will be imitating gestures, they will be imitating actions. So at this age, you will see an increase in babbling. Another thing that you may start noticing is that they recognize their name. And this is an important one. Make sure that your child is turning when you're calling his or her name. And make sure that your child is now also stringing more longer babbling sounds. Like for instance, no, no. Think much longer than what we were doing at 6 months. So we will want to always make sure we're building up on their communication and their babblings. So by 12 months, it's really exciting because we are getting kids to actually say a word, okay? By 12 months, it is typical for our children to have 1 to 2 words, and words could be anything, okay? As long as they are done on their own without imitation. So if they only say mama after you, it doesn't really count. But if they're saying mama on their own, that does count. Another way to tell if it's a word, if it's consistent. So for instance, my son, every time he wanted water, he would say ugh, ugh. That would be always the same thing. So that is a word for agua. I'm counting that as a word. Another thing that counts as a word is animal sounds. As long as the animal sounds are consistent and for the same animal, not meow for all of them, that counts. A name. So for instance, we tell his brother bro bro. If my son were to say bro bruh, then that would count as a word, okay? Sign language counts as a word, okay? If you are teaching them sign language, so if they do more, we would still count that as a word, although it's not verbal, but it still counts. A sign does count as long as it's consistent, like we said. We want to make sure that by this age, if they're saying mama and dada, they mean mama for mama and they mean dada just for dada. This is the phase where you start seeing drastic increase in understanding phrases. Perhaps your child is listening to one-step directions as like, give me, give mama that, don't do that, or come to mama, right? So they're understanding these things a lot more when you're saying them. It is really important because at this time they are bringing understanding to their vocabulary. So they are possibly showing understanding of anywhere from 30 to 50 words. So if we're saying, say bye-bye, right? That they're saying bye-bye. Do you want to eat? For them to respond no or yes. Usually kids will say no before they say yes with their head. Also, kids at this age start to recognize simple objects for what they're called. For instance, ball. Where's the ball? Look, here's the ball. Or they look towards the ball. If we're showing them a book, cat, meow, and they're able to point to a cat. Meow. We are expecting just the simple ones. I'm not going to ask more the keys are or what keys look like because he's probably hasn't been interested in keys at this point. But anything that your child has access to every day, you should already see that your child is understanding those words. So ball, cup, toys, if they have a blankie, any animal in a book, those things are one of the most common for us to see that kids are demonstrating understanding of. We also want to make sure that at this age, your child is understanding pointing. So if I point somewhere, your child's attention gets directed towards where you're pointing. We also want them to be able to point to direct our attention somewhere. So if they want something on the counter, they're pointing. Or if they want to get something far away, that they're pointing. That is a really important aspect of speech development for this age. The other thing is that we are seeing more inflections in when they're babbling. So right, instead of just ba 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 ba, which is more typical for 6 to 9 months, right? For them to have that repetitive consonant vowel stringing. Now the babbling is more like they're pretending to say more. Sometimes you'll hear when they're mad, right? I hear this a lot from baby Z, so I'm more familiar with that. But any inflection pattern when they're babbling is key at this age. We're always very eager to hear their first mama or dada, so I hope that you are enjoying your journey as a parent. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share with others, as this information can help other families as well. Thank you so much, and if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos. I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.